Hello, my name is Peggy Meyer. I am so excited you are here today. Today's topic is setting and achieving an impossible goal. So I had the privilege of running this kind of training in another Facebook group yesterday, and let me tell you, it was great. So I wanted to have you guys also be here today, and I'm trying to get it up again on, yeah, there we go, on my feed so I can see your comments. If you are joining me live, put live on Facebook. If you're joining me on a replay, just put hashtag replay, and I will get back to all of your comments and questions that you post there. So hello, yes, let's get started on setting and achieving an impossible goal. So let's first start out by talking about why setting goals are really important. And goals are really something that we do on a daily basis, and we probably don't even know it, or we might not even call it a goal. So it might be a motive, a desire to do something. Basically, all behaviors are driven by some sort of goal, motive, desire, either to move towards something, to get something, or to avoid something. There is a result that we're looking for when we are participating, taking action, any of our behaviors. We are looking for a result, right? Goals are in that category. We are trying to move towards something. Most of the time when we set a goal, we're trying to move towards something. And goals, if you kind of think about it as, where are you going? You need to know where you're going. Otherwise, you don't know if you're going to get there or not. So an example that I like to use in this is that when you get in your car, you have a destination in mind. You have a purpose, a reason for getting into your car and starting it and putting it in drive, because you want to go somewhere. Okay? Or do you want to go somewhere? And I always want to go somewhere. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to get your comments on here, and I always mess that up. So why, getting back to setting goals and why they're important, you need to know where you're going. Otherwise, you don't know if you're going to get there or not. So it gives you a target, gives you something to shoot for, right? When you get in your car, you know where you're going to go. You're going to take the kids to school. You're going to go to the grocery store. You're going to go to work. You're going to run some errands. You have a destination in mind, okay? So in this example for today, for setting and achieving an impossible goal, think of a goal for yourself that you are trying to achieve. And I'm going to use an example of, say, I want to go visit a friend in New York, right? I want to go visit this friend in New York sometime. Well, a goal then, I would need to set a time frame and how I would get there. So, generally I'm in Nebraska, I'm in the middle of the US, so I would need to drive east. So driving is one way I could get there. And there are many, many, many roads to take to get there, whether it's going to be the fastest road or more of a scenic route, or if there's other friends along the way that I want to go visit as I get there. But ultimately, I will pretty much, put in her address in the navigation system in my car, and it'll help direct me in the right direction and get there. If I want to get there the fastest, it'll show me the fastest route. So this is the same for any other goal or desire that we have. Okay. And when you also think about goals, sometimes maybe some of you have heard about SMART goals. SMART goals stand for specific, measurable, achievable, or attainable. Those words are intermixed. Realistic or relevant. Again, sometimes you'll see it as realistic, sometimes you will see it as relevant. And T is timely or in a time frame. So there is, a time limit for it, or a time that you want to get it completed. So in my example, I want to go see a friend in New York. In order to make it smart, okay, I'm going to see a friend in New York. Okay, that is specific. It's a certain friend in New York, and measurable. Well, that's measurable is, it's like, did I do it or not? And achievable or attainable, do I think I can do this? Yes, I do. I think I can achieve this. And realistic or relevant, does this goal fit into my vision? Is this important to me? Yes, I want to see my friend. I haven't seen her for a while. And timely, okay, what I haven't added was, what time frame do I want to complete this? Okay, give me by the end of the year. So 6 months, I will see my friend in New York. Okay, so SMART goals provide some clarity, some focus, some motivation, some more direction. But I'm also going to be, this is just a part, but just a side note, I'm going to be putting on a full workshop to help you turn your SMART goals into Smarter 2 goals. And what I mean by that is, I have created an acronym for Smarter 2. And so that is similar, but somewhat different. So this specific, measurable, action-oriented, resources, time frame, but it's exciting. There's release, evaluate, and reward. So if you want more information on my upcoming full Smarter 2 goal workshop, drop goals in the comments or reach out to me on Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you can find me. So I encourage you right now to write down a goal that you have in mind, that you want to achieve, and see if you can turn it into a SMART goal: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, in a time frame. So that my goal, yep, by the end of the year, turns it into a SMART goal. So next thing when you're working on setting and achieving goals is, you set your goal. Okay, now you need to brainstorm how you're going to achieve this goal. Okay, so if I wanted to see my friend in New York, there's lots and lots of ways to do that. I could walk, I could bike, I could drive, I could take a train, I could take a bus, I could fly. So all of these options are going to get me there. Some I would like more than others. Like, I don't think I would want to walk to New York. I don't know how long that would take me. I would probably have to start today to get there in 6 months. Some would cost more, but all of them would get me there. So now let's change that goal into an impossible goal that you don't think that you can achieve. So what makes a goal impossible? Like, when you think of a goal, that impossible goal, like, what comes to mind? A lot of times it's like, it's unrealistic. I can't do that. Our brain says, no way. That's what makes it kind of impossible. We kind of laugh at it, right? It's like, yeah, that'll just never happen. Something like that. Or when our brain goes, oh, nope, I can't do that. That's usually when we get to the point of it being impossible, right? So what's the impossible version of your goal? Well, if my goal is to see a friend in New York by the end of the year, how could I make that how could I make that impossible? Well, to make a goal impossible, sometimes you need to make it bigger, okay? Or shorten the time frame. So if I shorten the time frame, can I go to New York and see my friend by the end of August? Do I think that's possible? Maybe. How can I make it bigger? The way I think I could make it bigger, if I could gather 10 of our mutual friends and we all go to New York to see this friend, either by the end of the year or by the end of August. I could make it bigger and I could shorten the time frame. But what if I want to have coffee with my friend tomorrow morning on her deck? Now, to me, that seems more impossible than the others. So when you ask yourself, do you consider this to be impossible to achieve this goal in this time frame? If you can get to no, then your goal, it seems impossible to you, and good job, because that's where we want to get you. We want to get you to think of a goal that you think is impossible to do. So really, I think it would probably be pretty impossible for me to be able to have coffee with my friend in New York on her deck tomorrow morning. Okay, what's the impossible version of your goal? Did you end up making it bigger, or did you shorten the time frame? So get to the point where you get a no, like, nope, this is not possible to do. And if you consider this impossible, great, right? You're right there. So now, once you have your impossible goal, mine is to have coffee with my friend on our deck in New York tomorrow morning. And I'm in Nebraska in the middle of the US. So this next step is making this impossible goal possible. And by asking yourself this question, which is one of my favorite questions in the book, 10X is Easier Than 2X by Dr. Benjamin Hardy and Dan Sullivan. So this question, take your impossible goal and ask yourself this. This goal would be impossible unless... So if I take my impossible goal, my goal to have coffee with my friend in New York on her deck tomorrow morning would be impossible unless I could fly there. I could catch a flight tonight and get my way there by tomorrow morning. That would be possible. For me, it could be commercial. It's still early this morning. I could possibly get a commercial flight, okay? But I do know a couple pilots that have some small planes. So that's another option. But see, that's a possibility. I could either get a commercial flight or I could get a charter. That goal would be impossible unless I took a flight today. So how does that help you think of your goal, stretching your goal, challenging yourself to make your goal bigger, and shorten the time frame in which you give yourself to complete it? What does that do? Impossible goals help you identify the one or the select few ways to focus your attention on to be able to achieve it. So it immediately, when you make your goal an impossible goal, it immediately separates from what works from what doesn't. I went from having choices of walking, biking, driving myself, somebody else driving me, a bus, train, flights, to one thing. One or two, either a commercial flight or a charter flight. That's the only way that's going to happen. You see how it pulls out and gives you a limited number of strategies or pathways that's going to work. So how are you doing on your goal? Did you make it impossible? And now did you find a few ways that it could be possible to achieve? Great. Now go ahead and take action on that goal, that impossible goal. Take action on it. So as a recap today, we start with a goal. We start with a goal that determines the process, right? Realistic, achievable goals have many strategies that work, and that is totally great for a lot of people. If the goal is not much different than what you're currently doing, you're not going to need to change much in order to achieve it. And sometimes that creates a lot less motivation or excitement in achieving a goal. And we kind of forget about it because it's not much different than what we're normally doing. But to make your goal impossible, we need to set a bigger goal or reduce the time frame, and then it'll show a limited number of strategies or pathways that are going to work, and it actually makes it easier to achieve. It weeds out everything that doesn't work. So I hope you gained some value out of today. Make some comments, shoot me some questions. Thank you for showing up today. If you want help achieving your goals, reach out to me for my next available goal setting workshop, Making the Impossible Possible.